Hello, I'm John Egerton from southeast Fermanagh. Welcome to my farm. My father bought the main farm here almost 70 years ago, and gradually we have built it up until what it is today. We've 180 acres or thereabouts, 73 hectares. I was the only boy. I had 5 sisters, and I was expected to take over the farm. I actually wanted to go to Queen's to be a mathematics teacher, and I was accepted into Queen's to do a degree in mathematics. But my father said that you're the only boy and you'll have to come home to farm. So I went to Greenmount then for 3 years and came home to farm after that. Gradually then we bought more bits of land and we built up. I got married and had 3 sons. I thought that probably one of them would be interested in farming and that would be grand. One of them could take over the farm. But it turned out that all 3 of them were interested in farming and all 3 of them want to farm. So that has really brought us to where we are today. Behind me here is a batch of spring-born heifers. They were born last spring, March, April. They're all for breeding. One of the things that has brought us the most resilience to this farm is the use of AI and sex semen. We breed everything to maternal genetics. We're breeding heifers as replacements, and we sell our surplus replacements to other farmers. So this batch of heifers behind us, there's a teaser bull with them, and we're going to some of them are artificially inseminated, and we intend to do the rest of them. Then we'll keep whatever we need for ourselves and we'll sell the rest. As you can see, they're on a paddock grazing system. The whole farm is set up in a paddock grazing system. We aim to grow the grass in 3 weeks and graze it in 3 days. On the farm there are 4 main enterprises. We have a suckler to beef enterprise which consists of 90 suckler cows, 45 calving in the springtime, which is March, April, and 45 calving in the autumn time, August, September time. We have a sheep enterprise of approximately 200 ewes. They're lambing roughly from Patrick's Day on. Then we have a dairy calf rearing enterprise where we take dairy heifers from a dairy farmer at 11 months of age and we put them in calf and we send them back to him ready to calve at about 24 months of age. Then more recently we've added a blade farming enterprise which is basically a calf house where we contract rear calves for ABP. We get them about 3 weeks of age and we rear them to 15 weeks. We don't own these calves, we get paid a rearing fee for them, so it has been a good addition to the farm. This is a batch of my suckler cows here. We calve suckler cows twice a year. We calve in March and April and August, September. This is some spring calving cows. We aim to calve everything at 2-year-old. It's all artificial insemination. Everything gets no more than 2 goes with artificial insemination. For this to work, the animals have to be quiet, have to be easy managed, easy got into the house. The AI has brought a new dimension to the farm. We can choose the genetics to suit each cow. The breed crosses, generally it's Simmental, Limousin and Solaire, with a little bit of Belgian Blue here and there through it. We breed all our own replacements and we try and breed everything to maternal genetics so that we can sell our surplus heifers. There's some lovely roan heifers in the background, or red and white heifers. They're the easiest ones to sell. We don't give anything a chance to drop from one herd to the other. They get 2 goes with artificial insemination, and if they haven't held after the 2 goes, they're gone. This year our calving spread was just under 5 weeks. When we started the Northern Ireland Suckler Beef Challenge, our aim was to get our calving spread down to 9 weeks. But gradually, by breeding better genetics, more fertile cows, we've got that down to less than 6 weeks now. The reason why we have two suckler herds, or a spring calving herd and an autumn calving herd, is due to the weather. In this part of Fermanagh, we seem to get a lot, well, in all of Fermanagh we get a lot of rain. We would have some of the better ground for Fermanagh, but the amount of rain that falls leaves conditions very difficult. So we couldn't manage, we have 90 suckler cows, but we couldn't manage 90 suckler cows in the springtime. So we have 45 of them calving in the springtime and 45 in the autumn time, which means that during the summer we have 45 dry cows which can be housed at any time. If we need, if the ground conditions deteriorate and we need to bring cows back into the house, we can bring the autumn calving cows back into the house without any major setback. This is our blade farming calf house. The reason we went down this route is, as I've said, I have 3 sons and they all want to farm in some way or other. We looked at options for buying land or for renting land, and it wasn't economically viable to do either. The availability of land is not an option. So we looked at pigs and we looked at poultry, and the boys said that they weren't interested in pigs or poultry, that it was cattle that they were interested in. So we went down this route of blade farming. We have built this blade farming calf house. It's empty at the moment, but the system works. We own the house. ABP supplies us with calves at about 3 weeks of age. We keep the calves until they're 15 weeks, so they're 12 weeks in the house here. ABP supplies the powdered milk, the meal and the veterinary medicine. We supply the straw, electricity and water and the labour, and we get paid a rearing fee. Once we have the house built, there's no other real expenditure for us. This has added a bit of resilience to the farm, and our long-term aim is to build a second one of these houses, and hopefully with a second house in place there would be enough here to sustain one of my sons in full-time employment. These are some of the sheep behind me here. The sheep enterprise on the farm consists of about 200 ewes. The reason we have sheep is a bit of diversification, and the sheep are a little bit easier on the ground, enabling us to make better use of the grassland in wet conditions. The breeding of the sheep is maternal breeding as well. New Zealand, Suffolk, Belclare, Klin, and a little bit of meat link then brought in just for the meat lambs. My intentions is long term is that my eldest son worked in Scotland for 6 years on a beef and sheep farm, but he was basically the manager of the sheep enterprise on the farm. So he's home now, and the intentions is that he will take over running the sheep part of the farm and build it up into a sustainable unit for himself. Also on the farm, we take part in some other things. I'm involved in an environmental farming scheme where I lay some hedges this year. You'll be able to see them, they're along the side here. We've put up new fences and laid the hedges, and I'm also involved in an ARCZero project. A few years ago, a guy said to me, "You're a very progressive farmer. You must be destroying the environment." Well, that was like a red rag to a bull to me. I was determined to prove that I can be a productive farmer and have good environmental outcomes. So the ARCZero project, it's to do with carbon sequestration. We carbon benchmark on the farm, and I intend to prove and get farmers out here and prove to them that we can have a productive farm and be good for the environment as well. We do soil sampling. Every 2 or 3 years the whole farm gets soil sampled, and we draw up a nutrient management plan going by the sampling. In early years, lime was an issue here, and P's and K's have been an issue, but we seem to have a lot of those issues corrected now. The pH seems to be 6 to 6.5. The P's and K's are up to 2s and 2 pluses now. This has helped us optimise the yield of grass with using less inputs, and has affected our environmental outcome as well. I'm involved with the grass check programme, and I measure grass every week with a rising plate meter. Everything's set up in paddocks, so it leaves the thing simple and straightforward. But we measure grass, and we put everything into ARCZero to build up a grass budget, to see where we are in grass, whether we need to cut paddocks out, or whether we've too much grass or not enough grass. It's a useful tool on the farm, useful for pushing the production from grass, and we take grass samples every fortnight as well, so that we have a handle on where the quality of the grass is and where we need to be. I've also got a full health plan. We try to be more proactive rather than reactive. I try to have a good vaccination programme. I vaccinate for BVD, lepto, IBR, pneumonia and salmonella. So rather than coming in with antibiotics, I try and prevent disease beforehand. We're aiming to eat the grass at the best quality we can, and to produce the best quality silage that we possibly can, so that we can produce the beef with using less meal. The better the quality of the grass is when we eat it, and the better the quality silage, the less meal we're going to have to feed in the lifetime of an animal. So it's going to have a good environmental impact. Also in that, there's the genetics. We're always pushing the genetics with the use of AI, and pushing for better genetics to have the animals away earlier, having eat less meal, and having less of an environmental footprint.